Hey folks, I ran out of lunch meat, like sliced turkey and ham. So I make my own lunch meat. This is a pork tenderloin that I had left over. Right now I'm just drying off some excess moisture. And I'm just gonna season it with garlic, salt, and pepper right now. And then I'm gonna let it sort of dry brine for about like an hour and a half. And that way it'll get some kind of flavor deeply into this meat before I cook it. And you'll see how I cook it once I'm back to and the dry brine is finished. So yep, that's salted and garlicked on all sides pretty good. And I'm just gonna pepper it. Try not to touch raw meat again. I already touched a bunch, but alright, I'll kind of press in some of that pepper and salt. You can see that this is like super well salted. A lot of the salt is going to kind of penetrate into this meat. This meat's pretty thick, it can take more salt. Also, when I go to sear this, when I cook this later, a lot of that salt's gonna fall off anyway, so it's not gonna be over salted. Anyways, see you guys in an hour to an hour and a half. Alright, my pork tenderloin has been dry brining for about an hour and a half. This pan has been preheated to pretty hot, and the oven is actually preheated also to 400 degrees. Gonna add a little bit of oil here, get it spread out in the pan. Alright, now I'm gonna start searing this tenderloin. Alright, basically I'm gonna do 2 minutes per side. This is like in a triangular shape, so I'm gonna sear it on 3 sides for 2 minutes on each side. And I might sear it even more. I want to get this really, really browned on the outside. And I'm not super worried about overcooking it. It's a tenderloin, so it's already pretty tender. And I'm also going to be slicing it very thin when I make this into my sandwich deli meat that I'm doing all this for. So I'm not worried about overcooking it. I'm going to sear this on all 3 sides, about 2 minutes per side, maybe more if it needs browned more. And then I'll put this in the oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes to fully cook it through to the inside. And then we'll let it rest and then slice it thin and make a sandwich. Alright, this is cooked on all sides for 2 minutes per side. We've got some really good color developed on there. I'm going to raise this on this grate and cook this for 10 minutes at 400 degrees. So see you in about 10 minutes. Alright, 10 minutes are up. So let's get this pork out of the oven. And I'm going to let that just sit and cool down. Let the juices reabsorb for like another 10 minutes, and then I'll slice this into my my deli meat slices for a sandwich. Alright, the pork has been resting for 10 minutes. Now I'm just gonna cut into it. I'm gonna cut it as thinly as I can so I can finally make a sandwich. All right, we're sliced thin. I'm gonna load up my sandwich. I did taste some of the meat by itself just now, and it's friggin' delicious. My goodness. Super juicy still. This might be on like the less cooked end of where you might want things, but I'm not worried about it. So you might want to cook yours a little bit more, but all right. We are now fully loaded. The rest of this I'm just gonna kind of store in the fridge to use later. And lastly, some provolone cheese on top. Get a light smush. Cut it in half if you want. Cross section. Let me give this a taste. Very delicious. 10 out of 10. Try this yourself.